Hi, I'm Kamali, taking you through the stories people are talking about and sharing around the world on NewsFeed today. That incredible moment when war is officially over on the Korean peninsula. We'll show you the reaction from some people watching in Korea as history was made. We interviewed him when he was here in Istanbul. We'll catch up with Benjamin Ledra, walking from Sweden to Palestine. We take you to the Netherlands, famously lax with its drug laws, but for how much longer? And is it time to make the patriarchy pay? A new website will tell you what you're owed. On top of our newsfeed, the incredible pictures coming out of Korea. The Supreme Leader of North Korea and the President of South Korea holding hands and hugging and declaring peace on the peninsula. This is the moment they signed the historic document. Remember, these two nations have technically been at war since the mid-50s. They signed an armistice then, but not a peace deal. And these are the pictures we really like. Kim Jong-un and Moon Jae-in sitting at the end of a blue boardwalk in the DMZ, having a good old chinwag for about 45 minutes. Now, Kim Jong-un is the first North Korean leader to enter the South, and he brought with him a huge entourage, of course, plenty of security, and if the rumours are to be believed, his own toilet. The two leaders also planted a tree, a pine tree, by the looks of it. And these are pictures of people in both North and South Korea watching the historic moment. Take a look. And covering all of this, of course, is a legion of journalists. Well, Oliver Whitfield-Mircic is one of them, and he sent us this cool little behind the scenes of what it's like to cover such a historic event.
It seems like the Indo-Korean summit is not only a big story in this part of the world, but it's also the biggest story in the world, and you can tell by just how many journalists have turned up to cover it. The organisers say that there are 3,000 reporters who have registered to come here and talk about the events that are happening just north of us in the peace village of Panmunjom that aim to try and get a peace deal hammered out between North and South Korea. The reason that there isn't one already is because there was only an armistice signed in 1953 at the end of the war. They're also trying to get denuclearization of North Korea on the way as well. But how do all of us journalists cover a story like this? Well, I'll give you a little tour. Over here, where all these desks are, these are mostly print and online journalists. They're typing copy away as fast as they can, trying to get all of the stories written for their various news editors. But for the English-speaking journalists, it's a bit difficult because it's all in Korean. So we get these interpretation devices. Now the interpreters sit just in that corner over there and try their best to speak as quickly as they can, translating everything that is being said, but it's no easy job. Now we all know the internet is a modern necessity, definitely a modern necessity for the modern journalist. Now if we go past all of the print journalists, we'll get to the TV cameras and we'll also get to the photographers. So TV first. It's not a cheap thing to get into. I'm going to let you in on a little secret. To hire that camera, this plinth, a cameraman to do a broadcast that'll only last 10 minutes will set you back $500, which is just absolutely crazy money. So what we're using is this proprietary app here on our phone, and it allows us to broadcast live. So when you see me on the news doing a broadcast, that is just from that, and you get just the same results from that small piece of kit as what you do over there. This is Jane, our fixer. A cheeky little wave from Jane. She's got all the best contacts. She knows everybody and she sets up all of our interviews and she speaks fantastic South Korean. So that's TV, and then at the back you've got even bigger plinths for the photographers. That's so that they can see over the top of the cameramen standing below and hopefully get the big shots that they need for tomorrow's newspapers and for the online news portals that they are filing for.
All right, let's have a look at what else is trending this Friday on social media. Now, he was called America's dad, but his whole act has been shown to be a lie. Bill Cosby is a comedian and appeared on US TV and TV around the world for decades, presenting a persona of a wholesome family man. He played a doctor in his eponymous show. But there was another side, and his fans were not aware of it, but the industry knew. His first trial for rape collapsed last year. The jury could not come to a unanimous verdict, but 12 months on, and with the fall of other powerful men for their abusive behaviour, think of Harvey Weinstein and Kevin Spacey, this time a jury of 7 men and 5 women convicted him. Now, there have been loads of reactions to this across the internet. Of course, we picked out a few of them for you here. Well, let's start with this one from the CNN correspondent Ana Navarro. She says, one of the hard parts about supporting the Me Too movement is being consistent even when the perpetrators are people we like or admired or who made us laugh. Zero tolerance means zero tolerance even when it's Dr. Huxtable. Then there's this from the actor and writer Patricia Arquette. She says, the state of America is this. Even with dozens of accusers, we were all afraid that Bill Cosby would walk free. And the feeling online was kind of summed up by this tweet and the accompanying image by Shahem. He asks, how will you sleep knowing Cosby will pass away in prison? And then the picture says it all. Hashtag Yo sé te creo, I believe you, in Spanish is trending around the world. It relates to the attack of an 18-year-old girl by 5 men during a festival in Spain. Now, the men said they'd walk the girl back to her car, but instead dragged her into a lobby of a building and also stole her phone. The men were sentenced to a lesser charge of sexual assault rather than rape, leading to these huge protests. Now, Benjamin Ladra is a man on a mission, and that mission is to raise awareness of the plight of Palestinians. And to do that, he's walking from Sweden to Palestine. Now, we stopped off here in Istanbul for a while, and we were lucky enough to talk to him. Here's where he's at now.
My name is Benjamin, and I'm from Sweden. And right now I'm walking from Sweden to Palestine. I started walking in August last year. And this whole trip is about raising awareness about the occupation and what's going on in occupied Palestine. Life under occupation is suffocating. In Palestine you have segregated streets with one half for Jewish people and one half for Palestinian people. You have roads where Palestinians can't drive. You have areas where Palestinians can't build houses or can't own property, can't set up shops. You have all these layers of discrimination. And I don't believe that's the way to peace. I don't believe that's any way to live at all. So I believe in creating this mass movement to put enough pressure on Israel and the United States to stop this occupation and, quite frankly, apartheid. So I want to do something to make change, to eventually just make this world a little bit better, a little bit more peaceful, and a place for everyone and not just some people.
Now, as you probably know, the Netherlands have a pretty chill drug policy when it comes to cannabis. But that is under threat as new statistics show the amount of money that organised crime is making from it. Tamina's got this.
It's the Netflix series Narcos that's got everyone talking about drugs.
Vamos a demostrar esos hijos de putas con quién se están metiendo porque nosotros aún somos el cartel de Medellín.
But it's not just Colombia and Mexico that's grappling with the drug problem.
Si Guillermo es un mierda los oídos, yo personalmente le voy a meter una pistola por el culo y apretar el gatillo.
Apparently, the Netherlands is now becoming a narco state. The Netherlands might be known for its windmills, wooden shoes and cheese, but according to a report by the Dutch Police's Union, it's also becoming a hub for drug trafficking. The country has some pretty interesting drug policies. They have a tolerance policy, which allows for the sale of cannabis in coffee shops. The irony is that marijuana is legal to possess and sell from coffee shops, but it's illegal to produce. So where does the weed come from? Coffee shop owners have no choice but to turn to criminals. And organised crime and drug trafficking is turning the Netherlands into a drug haven. The country is reportedly grappling with hitmen and gangs. Police say millions of crimes go unreported. The Netherlands is also a hub for ecstasy manufacturing, and cocaine is often trafficked through the ports of Rotterdam or Antwerp and distributed across Europe. The Netherlands is often praised for its approach to drugs, yet penalties for possessing, importing and exporting drugs are quite low. Will the Netherlands end up getting its own season of narcos?
All right, let's take you around the world now for some other stories you need to know this Friday. Now, Donald Trump was on his favourite show, Fox and Friends, and it was an interview that you can watch if you want for about 30 minutes. I won't bore you with all of it, just this bit.
Well, good morning, and I picked a very, very special day because it's Melania's birthday. So I said, let's do it on Melania's birthday. So happy birthday to Melania.
All right, hopefully there'll be visits in between, but have you decided on, or do you want to tell us what you got her?
Well, I better not get into that because I may get in trouble. Maybe I didn't get her so much. I'll tell you what she has done. I got her a beautiful card. You know, I'm very busy to be running out.
Well, maybe it's stuff like that, Donald, is the reason she won't hold your hand. The former captain of the Pakistani women's cricket team, Sana Mir, has called out ads that objectify women. She posted on Facebook that people are being brainwashed into an unrealistic form of beauty and the companies responsible need to take more action. Now, WWE's Royal Rumble will be held in Jeddah later, yes, in Saudi Arabia. This promo video has been posted and there have been full back page ads in the International New York Times all week, calling it the greatest Royal Rumble. We're guessing the WWE are part of Saudi Arabia's modernization plan, but it's not going all the way. Now, the last Royal Rumble in the States had the inaugural Women's Rumble, and one of WWE's biggest stars, Ronda Rousey, is conspicuous by her absence from this coming event. Now, have you ever been jealous of a sports journalist? They get to go to all the big games, all the big events, and it's part of their job. #hating. But I wanted to show you what happens when our sports team had entirely too much time on their hands while filming their special about Turkey's bid for the 2024 European Football Championships.
Non c'è pagina, ne è strappate tutte del manuale perché ha fatto una cosa fantastica. Del Milan è veramente straordinaria ogni volta che parte Kakà, è un lampo nel buio.
Now, for those of us lucky enough to be married or in long-term relationships, there are jobs around the house that we all do. But does one side do more than the other? Arabella has been looking at a new website called Build the Patriarchy, which tallies up how much you could be owed.
So, the idea behind this new campaign is women do a lot of work that they don't get paid for, that men don't really have to do. That includes things like cooking and cleaning, and men do those things too, but not the same amount of hours. So obviously there are exceptions to that, but let's leave the Not All Men Brigade out of this for now. Now, this campaign was set up on International Women's Day. Patty Makush is an artist and a mother, and she said that she felt when she had her child that she was kind of becoming out of society. And so she started painting all her unpaid hours into invoices and sending them off to US senators with the address Billing the Patriarchy. Now, she's launched a quiz so we can all find out how many hours of work we should be being paid for that we're not, just for being women. So let's check out my score. So I'm not doing too badly apart from the wage gap, but that's because I don't have kids and a family, and so that I'm only really looking after myself, and you're not getting paid for that. Now at the end it gives you an option to send off the invoice to elected representatives, but that's only in the US. I don't live there, so I'm not going to do that. One thing I think is really important to make clear here is this is not a campaign asking the government to pay women just for being women. It's pushing for universal childcare. Now, some countries like Sweden and Denmark have really progressive policies like that. The US does not. But at the moment in the US, universal healthcare is a controversial enough issue, so this getting loads of traction politically is probably not the time. But progress does take time, and so does taking down the patriarchy.
It does indeed, Arabella. Now, the latest dance thing that people are doing online is called the Seaweed Dance, and it looks something like this. Now, people in China have been posting and sharing their attempts at it, and you can rest assured, I'm not even going to try it. That was the best bit. And because it's Friday, let's bring back my favourite segment, Animals Doing Stuff. My producer picked the beats. Now these penguins are rolling through the aquatic centre in Vancouver, and as I said, our producer Ezra picked the music to match. I don't know, why not? The NewsFeed team will be here for all your questions, comments and complaints throughout the weekend. You can get at me. I'm at Kamali Melbourne. You'll find us on Twitter, YouTube and Facebook. Make sure you follow, subscribe and add, and I'll see you again on Monday.